So we were confronted with a challenge, and one option would be to, discontinue our not rideshare, but our bike share program. We don't want to do that because we know that, again, successful, growing, dynamic cities, the sort of places where people want to be as opposed to people want to flee, have scooters and bikes. So we took lemons and turned it into lemonade. We reached out and found a new partner. We're going to hear from them, called VIO. And frankly, the nature of our relationship with VIO, I believe, is better than anything we've had over the last 3 years. It's better for the taxpayer, better for accessibility and transportation, and really sets us up to expand in the future. You'll notice a couple things with our new relationship with VIO. First of all, the color has changed. It's not bright yellow anymore. This looks like more of a teal aqua theme. So citizens who might be interested in this would want to look for those. The bike stations are going to be the exact same ones that we've had for the last 3 years. Again, most of them are downtown, but I know there's at least one across the river. The same bike stations that we've had over the last 3 years, we're going to keep them, just with a different partner, different color bike. But something new has been added: scooters. We did not have scooters during our relationship with Gotcha. It was just bikes. The scooters that we have here are going to add an additional component, an additional convenience to citizens who are working and living and enjoying the downtown. For the next roughly 10 months, so just about for the next year, what we have here is a pilot program where VIO very generously is offering this service to the city of Toledo for free, totally free. There is no cost to the taxpayer whatsoever. Our previous, I think Councilwoman McPherson cheered at that one. You'll remember with the Gotcha bikes, the nature of our contract was that there was a cost. We had some generous sponsors who helped defray the cost, but the city also chipped in, I think it was $150,000 as well. So there was a cost to what we had done in the past, not for the next year. For the next year, this is totally and completely free. VIO is paying for this service. And after the 1 year sort of pilot, we will engage a large-scale RFP where VIO and others can compete for longer-term contract and longer-term business. And at that point, I think probably a more traditional relationship would evolve between the city of Toledo and its vendor. But VIO is taking a little bit of a risk on Toledo and is providing us a heck of a service where we're going to have this kind of convenience, this kind of accessibility at no cost. And for the next year or so, we'll be able to measure and understand better the tastes and attitudes that Toledoans have when it comes to bike share and scooter share programs. So that's a fantastic benefit. Essentially, we are going to be able to have the same sort of amenities we had before. And in addition to that, scooters too, at no cost. It's just, you just simply can't beat that arrangement. There's another benefit here. Over the last couple of years, you may, when you were around the University of Toledo, you may have noticed that they had a scooter share program around the university, and it was a different company, and the colors were different, and there was some confusion as to whether they could travel all the way downtown and vice versa. Our relationship with VIO is such that we are going to be aligned with the University of Toledo. We're all going to be on the same platform, and not today, but soon we're going to be able to announce a partnership where these scooters will be available on campus as well. So it'll be a more seamless relationship citywide. So the bikes and scooters you see downtown will be similar to what you see at the university, and they'll be able to, as it were, talk to each other a little better. This is going to go live today, I believe at noon. These scooters and bikes will be turned on and people will be able to use them. Again, the same stations we've had around town. But this is another important step for Toledo to be the sort of exciting, dynamic, that place people want to be. This is what successful cities do, and I'm glad that our team, Sean and Paul Rasmussen, the director of public services, and Abby Arnold and others, were nimble enough to be creative and turn what was sort of a challenge into something that's better for all of us, better for the taxpayers, better for the citizens, and it comes at an important time when we're about to, be hosting 175,000 guests into our community, specifically into the downtown, and I know that they will benefit from the added convenience of being able to take a scooter that last mile to the Gwen Stefani concert or the opening ceremonies or a restaurant or whatever the case may be. And as we build this out over the year of this pilot project, the synergy with the University of Toledo, again, is going to be powerful. You'll see that our commitment to this sort of transportation isn't just in words, it's in deeds, not the least of which over our shoulders you see the dedicated bike lanes now that have been added to the major thoroughfares that we redesigned. We didn't simply resurface Jefferson, as you can see, all the way into Uptown now. There is a essentially dedicated traffic lane for individuals who want to bike, who want to take a scooter, and who want to get around and enjoy Toledo in a different way. That takes that's not something you can just do on a lark. That takes planning and thought. And what we're really unveiling today isn't just the new scooters, isn't just the new relationship, but also an indication that we are committed globally to making Toledo the sort of place where people can get around more easily, more conveniently, do it in a way that frankly is good for their health, good for the earth, and good for our city. This is an amenity that successful cities have, and we're taking another positive step in that direction today. So I want to introduce our Commissioner of Transportation, Sean Burnett, ask him to make some comments, and then we'll hear from representatives of VIA.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'll be brief. I think the mayor's done an excellent job in kind of outlining what we're here to talk about today. I want to thank VIA as well for cooperating with us, not just these two gentlemen, Ben and Joe, who will be our local representatives, but also VIA in general. Alex Keating, the director of partnerships, has been a vital asset as we kind of work through this pilot and the pilot iteration. I'm excited. I think that this is a fantastic opportunity to continue to build upon the multimodal support that we have here in Toledo. Like the mayor said, we're building on those last mile pieces to construct a more thorough network of transportation, not just getting people effortlessly and seamlessly, right, from the outside of Toledo to downtown to parking and then walking, but now we've added these different implements that can be utilized to create a more thorough and successful network. So with that being said, I think, did you gentlemen want to say anything? Sure.
Good morning. My name is Joe Jackson. I'll be the local representative for VIA in Toledo. I was born here, I was raised here. I'm very excited to have this program coming to the city. It's going to be awesome for everybody. Our program is really unique that we use swappable batteries. So we spend less time in our vans loading and unloading scooters. We just bring batteries to the vehicles, and it's really great for the environment. And it's really great for that, like our mayor said, the first mile and the last mile of traveling, getting to your destination. You don't have to find a dock necessarily to park your scooter at. You can go to your destination, whatever restaurant you're going to, whatever venue you're going to, whatever event you're going to, and you can park right up front just like this and drop it off and be on your way and have a great time and enjoy the city.
Thanks, Joe.
Sure.
I want to introduce Councilwoman Sir Sandra McPherson, who joined us today. I want to introduce a future Councilwoman, Dr. Michelle Grimm, who's with us here today. I want to thank, I know there are some sort of biking groups that have joined us today for this. I want to thank them for being here. I want to thank Downtown Johnny's across the street, who's providing free, I think, free breakfast food for those who may be interested. I know that we could either answer questions in this large group setting or in one-on-ones, but I think we've come to the part of the program that everyone except for me was looking forward to, and that is trying these things out. I don't know how many of us here are old enough to remember to understand the reference when I talk about Dukakis in a tank. But they are going to insist that I ride around in one of these things, and I just don't want to look like Mike Dukakis in that tank back in 1988, but this is the job I signed up for, so the geeky, awkward visual of me moving around in one of these things is about to happen, so be sure to capture that for posterity. But this is a good day for Toledo. It really is. I also want to thank Cindy Kerr and her team that are such tireless advocates for downtown. And if there are no general questions, we can, again, break off into individual one-on-ones, or we can just try out these devices. And by the way, it does not have to be just us. Everyone as well. You can see that we have blocked off Jefferson between Huron and Superior. Anyone is welcome to move around on these things. Members of the media, guests, anyone is free to move around. This is we've closed the road here just for this very purpose. The program goes live, I think, at noon. So I think at noon, citizens can start moving around on these things. But for the next 2 hours, we can do it. Anyone can do it for fun and kind of just try it out and go from there. Anyone else have any comments? You sure?
We're good.
Any questions?
We're good.
What, okay, question?
What will happen to residents who have monthly or annual subscriptions?
Can you answer?
We're working with Gotcha right now to make sure that there's some sort of seamless integration, or at very least, we cooperate with them to take care of those residents.
How do you think Toledo residents will make these in other cities? What do you think the reaction will be?
I'm hoping the reaction is positive. I think that, again, these are easy to use, they're fun to use, they're fun to ride. I think that we've demonstrated over the last couple of years that there's a latent demand for services such as this. Mobility and accessibility are always going to be really important resources for citizens, and so my expectation is that these will be utilized relatively frequently because they provide a great service, a service that people, I think, are looking for.
How many total?
So right now we're starting with a fleet of 100 pedal bikes to replace one-for-one the Toledo bikes, and then we're starting with 300, I believe, a mixed fleet between the stand-up and the sit-down scooters. That'll change depending on usability. If we see that there's a real hunger within the citizens of Toledo for this type of thing, we'll raise that cap and continue to work with VO to iterate the pilot. I'm sorry, the last part?
Is there a correlation between the two traffic vitality strategies earlier in the year?
That's a great question. Thank you. Vision Zero is not just about, some of these surface level changes. Vision Zero is a complete reorientation of our transportation focus and networks. Adding things like scooters, bike shares, those contribute to a safer system because we're seamlessly integrating that multimodal piece. And also a great piece about, raising the utility or the utilization of multimodal transportation technologies is that we reduce the number of people on the road, which lessens congestion, promotes, accessibility and maneuverability for individuals. And so that's kind of a larger piece of this same conversation. Great, thank you.
All right, thank you, everyone. So Are these turned on?
So I think the ones in the road are the ones that are unlocked.
I'm gonna leave my phone. It's a mixture of like 60-40 right now between me and smartphones.
Jake, you should be doing this. Come on, we need members of the media doing this.
I am too.
I'm just glad there's no weight limit. Tell me how this one works here. Is this kind of the same idea?
Exact same idea.
All right.
Exact same system for stopping and going. You stand there, you gotta give it a little push to get it going, and then you engage the throttle. I mean, it's like.
Go ahead.
It gets up to 50 miles an hour.
I didn't fall, but I didn't try a scooter either. This is more. How come it's not going? Why have to push it this way? Wait a second. Oh! Good, they push it down?
You're giving it a little push.
I'm giving it a push.
There you go. Go.
Not going. This one on?
Ah, there it is, there it is, there it is. There we go. Try not to kill the media.
I want to make sure I give you the right answer.